Welcome back to the channel. So today this is the lecture 2 of our XlsxWriter series where we are learning how to convert a data frame into a report using XlsxWriter, right? So here if you see, I have created this beautiful report basically. So this is the lecture 1, you can say, in terms of creating the reports. So this is I think a starter report, but in future videos we will see a very large, very complex uh, a report where we will be converting a data frame into a report. We will play with the pandas data frame, right? So let's see how we can create this report. So here, first of all, let's see what all things we will learn. So if you see here we have the like this header beautifully formatted, right? We have the border, we have the size of this character are more, the values or the values of this header are in the center. And then if you see here, we have the money column where we have the dollar formation, and then here we have the percentage. Like we will play how to create a column with the 2 decimal places, 3 decimal places in each and everything, right? Be it a money format column or the percentage column. We will see how to play with the string data, right? So here, like in this video, I will not be talking about the date format. We will see that in the future. So, and you can see like how to give the headers or like the headings to a report, right? And how to, if you notice this, we don't have any grid lines over in on this Excel, right? So all these things we would see, right? So let's begin. So now here I am in our Colab notebook. So we start with this, right? So we will write pip install XlsxWriter. So if we don't have, then this will install. If we will have it, then it will say that requirement already satisfied. So like right now it is connecting basically. So if you are new to our channel, you can check out our other playlists. So basically, I have put a lot of interview-related content on SQL, PySpark, PSA, and all those things. So you can definitely check out, right? So let's see. So right now it is installing basically. So I won't be writing the code. So basically I have written the entire code of this report. So because like writing and explaining it will take a lot of time. So what I will do, I will like copy paste the things from here and I will manipulate it, basically the parameters and everything. So it would be very much clear. So let's import all those things. So basically we would need pandas and the XlsxWriter, right? So now it's time to create a data frame. So in like real-time environment, what you will do in the industry, basically, uh, you will take a data from the database and you will process it using the pandas, and then you will create the final data frame, which you would going to like convert that particular data frame into the reports, right? So this is what we do in the real time in the industry. So in the same way, let's create the data frame. So here I am creating this dummy data frame, that is the store data frame, that I'm calling as a Amazon Superstore data. So let me explain you what the data is. So here basically we have the like the SSN number, then the product, and then the country, state, and then revenue generated, right? So what I'm doing then. So basically what will happen, you will fetch the data from the database and you might have to process it and transform it and create some new columns, right? So that is exactly what I'm doing over here. I'm like trying to simulate how we do in the real-time environment over here. So what we are doing, we are taking this month revenue. So this is the where is it? So this is the column. So we are using this column, and then we are using the PCT change. So what this does, it creates basically the percentage change column. So here we are creating the percentage change column, and then wherever we have the null. So basically, let me show you before this. So let me cut this and show how the data would look like. So now if you see for this one, we don't have any percentage change, right? So what the percentage change is? It is nothing but the current value minus previous value upon current value, right? So that is what we are seeing over here. So for this one, we don't have any previous value. So the percentage change is NNN, right? So, but we don't want that to be there in the report, right? We want it to be 0. So that's why we are filling it with a 0. And if you see here, the values are in a decimal. Basically, they are not in the percentage format. So we want the data to be from 1 to 100, right? So that's why we are multiplying it by 100. So let's see the final data frame which we would be converting into the report, right? So now you can see we have the beautiful data. So this data we would be using, or data frame we would be using to convert this into the report. So now let's start with the formatting part. So here we begin. So let me like if we recollect our previous video, that is introduction video. So how we start? We start with by creating a XlsxWriter uh, object, right? So that's where we will start. So let's do this. I will explain you each and every term over here. So basically, if you see here what we are doing, we are using pd.ExcelWriter, right? So pd.ExcelWriter, here we are giving the name of the seat. So basically, if you see here, the name of the seat is Superstore report, and I have like put in a ref over here just for the reference, because we would be taking this seat as a reference and we would be like creating the exact seat over there, right? In this tutorial. So this is the story. Let's give the name as YT, basically the YouTube, and here we are providing the engine as XlsxWriter. So basically, I have taught this thing in our previous video also. So if you have not watched, you can watch the introductory video of this XlsxWriter. So there I have taught you that using pandas XlsxWriter, we have two different ways in which we can format the data. One is using the open py excel, something like that. So using that we can format, and the other option is XlsxWriter. So like in this entire series, we would be using the XlsxWriter because I have seen a lot of advantage of this over the other options, basically, right? So this is easy to use. This is very much advanced, I would say, right? And the documentation is very beautiful that you saw in our previous video, right? So let's start. So here we have created the um, a writer. So we have the others option also over here that you can basically um, check in the documentation, right? So here you can say we have the other options also. So for seeing the option, what I did, I just put the my caret over here and press the tab symbol, right? So you can see the others option which are available over here. So here we have created the writer. What is the next thing? So next thing is we need to create the seat, basically. So using this writer, what we are doing, we are saying that use the df which we created above, and we want to write it into the Excel sheet. So we use the to Excel, right? We can use the to CSV and all those things which are the other possible values which are there. So, but we want to create the report into the Excel's format. So that's why we are using the to Excel. And then we are using the writer. So we are saying that for creation of this data frame, the writer would be this one. So we are providing the writer, and then we are providing the seat name. So basically, if you see, we have over here the seat name, right? So in this particular report, we could have the multiple tabs, right? Like this seat 1, seat 2, seat 3, seat 4, seat 5, right? So in the like real world environment, in the industry, you will see all these kind of scenario that I would be creating a video at the end of the series where I will be creating the multiple seats. We would be applying the formulas, basically the XLOOKUP and all those things in our future videos, in our like the complex project. So this is basically, you can say that the first project of the series, and basically we are doing the project based learning, right? So the so this piece of code basically provides the name, seed name, and then here we are providing the. So before talking about this, let me explain you what is this index equal to for. So if you see, basically in the pandas data frame, we see this index column, right? So we don't want this to be there in the report. So that's why we are writing index equal to false. And here the default value is like we start with the 0 comma 0, like the default is 0 comma 0, and the report would start from here, this cell, right? But we don't want that. Let me explain you what is the index. So basically, in our previous video also, I have explained you in Excel the indexing start from the 0. So this is 0. In order to access this cell, what you will have to write, you will have to write 0 comma 0. 0 is nothing but the row, right? And the other 0 is for the column, right? But in order to access using the indexes, it start from 0. But what if you want, if you are writing something like that, b10, so it is like it will access this cell, basically this cell, right? It will access this cell. So if you write the column name and then you will write the, if you write the column name and then you write anything like the row number, then it would be a one based indexing. But if you write something like that 0 comma 0, then it always going to, like, if you use the indexes for both row and column, then it would be a 0 based indexing. But if you use a column, basically column name, let's say if I write E100, right? So it is not like it would be E99. It is not like that. It would be E100 only. So E100 is nothing but this cell. So this is 100, and where is E? So this is nothing but the E100. Got it? But if you write like this, 10 comma 19, so what it would be, in reality, since we are using the indexes at the both the places for the row and column, so this would be 9 comma 18, right? 9 comma 18. So ninth row is what? So wherever we have the 10th row, it is, so this is the 9, and then we need to go to the 18th column. So this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and so on and so forth. So let's say this is the 18th. So we would be, so this would be 9 comma 18. Understood? So this is how it works. So that, so I think the indexing is clear basically. So what we will write, so in, like I have written 2 comma 2. Why 2 comma 2? Because here we are using the indexes, right? And at the both the places we are using indexes, so indexing would be start from 0. So what is this? So basically, this is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2. So I want to start from the row 2, so that's why I have written row 2 over here. Like the start row is 2. And similarly, if you see the column is C. C is nothing but what? 1, 2, 3. So 3 minus 1, 2. Why 2? Because the indexing start from the 0. So this is 0, 1, and 2. So this piece of, this part I think was very important. So you can see here, like we are writing 2 comma 2. That's why this is starting from here. So this is basically the start. So before this, what I am doing, let me put 0 comma 0 and show you how the report would look like. Let me run this. So basically, like while development also, what you will have to do, you will have to keep on trying all these things and see the client requirement and make the report. Basically, it's not like straightforward thing that you have to start from 0, 2 comma 2 or something like that. So it's totally depend on how the how we are like writing the data basically. There is something weird happening. Okay, so we have written like 0 comma 0 over here. Okay, so if we run this, it will create basically the seat, but there won't be any data. So let me show you. So if you see, like 0 byte has been written. Got it? So why this is there? In order to put these values into the basically the seat, we will have to write, or we will have to close the writer. Then only the compiler will understand that now we need to generate the report. It's like a lazy evaluation, right? We have in PySpark and all those things. So it's something like that. We have to close the writer, then only it writes the data into the um, seat basically. So this I have done, like I have written the writer.close, and let's open this. So this is our reference data frame. Okay, now you can see we have the data frame over here. So what all things like you have observed over here? You can see the default column width is there, right? So what we will have to do, we will have to manually change the basically the increase the size of the width. And you can see here, like the default, it has started from 0 comma 0, right? And there also, like the default value is 0 comma 0. That we don't want. We want to start from here, and then we want to put the formatting. Now you can see that the formatting is like this. So here we don't have the dollar symbol and all those things. And but if you report in, you can see how beautiful it is. We don't have the header and all those things. So that all things we will be putting over here. So the first thing we will do is, uh, okay, so before setting the column width and all those things, let me explain you what is worksheet and workbook. So let me explain you that. So let me pull the code of it. So, okay, Let me explain you what is the workbook and worksheet. Okay, now you can see what I am doing. So here I have written accessing workbook and worksheet. So here in writer we have the dot book object. So using this we access the workbook. So and then what we do, so basically what happened while writing the formatting. So let me show you for the formatting basically. So if you see here, what formatting I have written here, I'm writing center format. So what this does, wherever I apply this center format property, it will set that particular column to a center, in a center basically, right? So what I'm writing, workbook dot add format, right? I'm not writing worksheet dot add format. So let me explain you what is the difference between the workbook and worksheet. So if you see here, we in a given report, we can have a lot of worksheets. So these tabs basically we call it as a worksheet. These are unique by their name, right? And this entire sheet is nothing but what? It is a workbook, right? So if you define a proper, so basically these formatting property are not with respect to the worksheet. They are respect to the workbook. This or the entire workbook. So it's like here I have written the center format. This center format, it is not necessary that I have to use over this sheet only, like the month end data only. I can use, let's say if I have the other workbook, a worksheet or something like this. Let's say I have the other worksheet like this, sheet 2. There also I can use this center format. Got it? Now you understood the difference between the workbook and worksheet. So workbook is for the and all the sheets. Worksheet is only for the that particular respective sheet, right? So let me delete this piece of code. Okay, so here we have access basically the workbook, and then how we are accessing the worksheet. So worksheet is nothing but, so in a writer we can have a lot of sheets, right? So there we have the dot sheet property. Using that we can provide the name of the sheet and get the worksheet name. So I think till this point it is clear. So what is the next thing? Next thing is setting that column. Like we don't want to do that thing manually, right? Before explaining this, let me put over here 2 comma 2, because we want to start the report from 2 comma 2. Okay, and then okay, let me explain you this thing. So here we, in order to set the column, we have the set column property. Similarly, we have the set row property also. But in this project, basically, we are not using set row, but we are using the set column only. So here you can see I have written a a colon b 5. So what I'm saying is, put from the column A to column B, I want to have the width as 5. So the first uh, argument is nothing but the row comma column. So here we are providing in this format, so it is fine. And then the next property is basically we are providing the width. So here we are saying that a comma b, sorry, a and b column, from A to B I should have the width as 5. Similarly, from C to Z, sorry, Z, I want to have the width as 30. Let me explain you over here. So if you see here, we are starting the report from this point. So we don't want these to be also 30, right? So we want this to be a little smaller. So I have putting 5, and from the C to Z, basically till this point, I want to put everything as 30. So this is what I'm doing. So in real time, basically you won't be hard coding this thing. You would be like using you would be accessing the column name via this, like using this. So you would write a DataFrame.columns.getLog, and you would take the name of the column to get the column position. And using this function, I will explain you what this function does. You will get the name of the column basically. So yes, I think let me run these things. Okay. So every time you make a change, you will have to run that particular cell, and you will have to see the result of it. So this tutorial is going to be a little long, but you will learn a lot of things basically. Okay, now you can see the magic basically. So if you see, these two columns are nothing but what? The width is 5, and for the other column, the width has increased, and now it is looking a little nicer, right? So now the next thing is we want to format this header basically, right? So let's do that quickly. So let me uh, copy the header code. So here we are doing. So let me put over here. Okay, so what we are doing, so we are using the enumerate function. So what it does, here we are providing the all the columns name, right? So it gives the column number and the value. So here we have the excel.write. So like using write function, we write like the data at each and every places. So the syntax over here is the first value. Let me put the tab and explain you the syntax basically. Okay, so this is nothing but what? This is nothing but the row. This is what? This is the column, and then we have this value. Value is nothing but the text which you want to write, text, number, or anything. And then we have the format object. Format object. So this is the syntax basically. So what is the row? Row is 2. Why 2? Because we are starting from the row number 2. Say, I have told you, right? Wherever you use the row and column both as indexes, then you have to start from the 0. Like this is the 3. You can see over 3. But in reality, what it is 2 only, right? Similarly, the column is 2. So what you will have to write? You will have to write the indexes which are written by this enumerate function, the column name plus 2. Why 2? Because at the first beginning, what it will return? It will return 0. 0 plus 2. Like every time you will have to add 2. Why 2? Because you are starting the column from the 2. I hope this you understood, right? So let me remove this. And if you see here, it is like highlighting error because this is not defined header format. So we will have to provide the header format, right? So let's copy this. So where it is? This is the header format. So I have put the header format over here. Okay, so this is the header format. Um, I will we will play with this parameter. Let me show you first. So let me run this and show you the basically the how the output would look like after this. Let me run this. Okay, now you can see we have the color, we have like everything in place, right? We have the color, we have the this data got bold basically, right? And we have the border as border also. So let me explain you the property that you can play later, right? So this I don't think I need to explain a lot. So here we are writing basically bold true because we want data to be in bold, and we are writing the text wrap equal to true, right? So this we can put into the quote also, and this also both the thing work. And then we are writing the V align, that is the vertical align is center, border as one, alignment is center, and then we are increasing. The default size is 11. So basically, if you see here, the default size, you can see it is 11, but we want this to be 13. So that's why we are writing the font size is 13, and then we want the background color as this. So these are the property which we have applied. So what is the next thing? Let me cancel all these things. Don't save. Okay. Okay, so what is the next thing? Next thing, what we can do, we can basically put the formatting in the month revenue and the percentage change column, right? So we could put the formatting in both this. So what we can do, let me explain you. So we want first the money format, right? We want to put money format in the percentage format. Let's copy both the like formatting and copy paste over here. So what we are doing, we are writing basically these are the static thing you can get from the web basically, or the documentation how to do the money formatting and how to do the percentage formatting, right? So uh, we have done this. So now it's time to access these two columns. Like we don't know, right? In a particular, so in a data frame, we can have hundreds and fifties of the columns, or 200 of column, but we don't know the, like we cannot simply like count the columns and put the formatting like that. We need to make everything dynamic. We cannot put all these things static, right? We don't know where is the position of this month revenue column. So what we can do, we can use this get log basically to get the uh, column name and put the this thing. So let's do the money formatting first. So let me explain you what we are writing. So what we are doing, we are using like get log, and we are saying give me the column number. So this returns the column number, and then we are using this get column name. So this like the lambda function which I have written. Let me explain you how does it work. So let me explain you over here. Okay, so what it takes, this is the lambda function. This takes the column number, and if it is less than 0, then it returns the the blank. And if it not the case, then it is recursively finds the column name, and then it adds 65. Why? Because the ASCII character of A is 65, and accordingly it generates the name of the column. So in order to test this, so let's say if we provide 1 over here, right? The column name as 1. Let me put these things below, and let me run this cell first. So we are providing the column name as 1. What we should expect? We should expect A, right? So let's put. So here if you see, it return A. Let's say if we put 26, let's see what we are getting. We are getting Z. Why? Because A to Z we have 26 character, and the last character is Z. So we are getting Z. Let's say if we put 100, let's see what we are getting. We are getting CV, right? Let's say if we put 5, then what we are seeing? We are seeing E. So I hope this you understood, right? Basically, this return the Excel column name. So that we are providing. So using this column name, we are providing this function, and then column num which we receive plus 3. Why plus 3? Let me explain you. So basically, the indexing start from 0 in the data frame. So this must have returned. Let me explain you what this must have returned. So basically, the column name is 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the position of this is what? 6. So the data frame indexing start from what? 0. So it must have written 5. So 5, right? Plus we need to do 3. Why 3? Because we already have left 2 column over here. So plus 2 that, plus 2 that, and since we are starting the indexing from 1, so that would be plus 1 that, like indexing we are starting from 0. So in order to like access that particular cell in Excel, so we will have to add 1 also. So it would be 8. Let's count over here. So if you see here, 2 from here, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Got it? So this is how we need to do this. So let me remove this, and let me copy the function over here. We can write this function is really important basically. So we have this also, we got that. And now what we are saying, we are using the set column, and we are saying that to this month column, put the width. Like basically if you see here, width is quite long, right? Like this is 30, we don't want 30, we want this to be 20. So we have put 20, and we want the formatting to be money format, which we have applied over here, right? I think you understood this thing. So let me put the percentage formatting also, right? We don't want this line. Same way, like we have done, like the percentage, we have accessed the percentage change column, and then we have put the percentage formatting over here. So let me run this. Let me run this. Now we should see the formatting in both the columns, the last two columns. Okay. Now, if you see, the column width has reduced, and here also we have the percentage. Here we have the dollar symbol in everything, and here we have the percentage. But if you have noticed this thing, like here we are getting 200%, right? The second value is 200%. But in reality, what it is basically the 20%. Why we are getting 200%? Let me explain you. So how this percentage formatting works is, here we have written 0, basically that we don't want any decimal and all those things. That's why, let's say if you want 2 decimal places, let me put that we want 2 decimal places, and here we don't want any decimal, right? Let me show you report. So basically here we have we had two decimal places that we have removed, and here we have put 2 decimal places that we have changed. But we are getting like 200%. That should not happen. Like if you see here, we have 20%. So what exactly happens is, like this percentage, basically how does it work in XlsxWriter is, this multiplies the data it by 100 basically. So we need to provide the data it into the like 0 to 1 format. So we need to remove this. Like now the data is like 0.220. Now the inbuilt function basically of XlsxWriter, it will multiply it by 100, and it would become 20. Similarly all the other value. Now we should get the data in the proper format. So let me run this. Let me download it again. Okay. Now if you see, we have, so from here you can see that got removed, like the decimal thing, and here we have the percentage in the proper format, right? We have the two decimal after the point, and but in here you can see the exact value. So this is what we want, right? Let's say if we have another column which is depend on this column, we want to do some calculation, so that is how we want to do. So in report we show something else, but in reality the value would be in the like the proper format how we have in reality, right? The exact values. I think we have formatted these two values. So what all things are remaining from the initial thing? So I think few things are remaining, putting the values over here. So you can see here, this is the static value, right? So we can directly write C2 and put this value over there. So let me write that. So let's do this. So basically we are writing. Okay, so what we are writing, we are writing C2, write the data at C2. The data would be this Amazon Superstore report. Let me put the channel name D with with Dhari over here, right? Okay. And here you can see like this is saying that this is not defined. This is nothing but the formatting. So if you see here, this is in the bold format and the text size is also 16, right? So that we want. So we want to put this property. So let's see, let's search where it is. So here we have that property. So let me put this property over here. So what we are seeing, we are saying the bold should the text should be in the bold format, and then the text wrap equal to true. So this is nothing but the wrapping. This I think you understood very well. And then we want the text size to be 16. Let's say if I want to make this as 70, right? In this report. So let me run this. Let me run this again. Okay, now you can see we have the data over here in C2, right? I think you understood this thing. So now the next thing is, I think only the thing which is remaining is this grid. We don't want this grid, right? So for that we have the property called hide grid lines. So here we write this piece of code that will do the magic for us. So this should be, I think, at the bottom, right? This is least priority thing. So here two is nothing but we want to meaning is we want to remove both the lines, the grid that is horizontal and vertical. That's why we have two over here. And let's run this. I think this should be good. We should be done with our report basically. So let's run this. Uh, this is not downloaded or what? Okay, now this got downloaded. Okay, okay. Now you can see this is our beautiful report which we have created, right? Now you can play with the other thing, like let's say you want to reduce the width size of this and put the values at the like right side of the cell, and all those things you can play, right? So yes, if you like this content, please do like, subscribe, and share the channel. And you can try this thing with by yourself also. I will provide the data frame creation statement in the description section. Let's meet in the next lecture. There we will see how to basically play with the other thing which are there, right? Put the Excel formula. Let's say I want to have the sum of these values. So what we will write? We'll write sum of basically from these things, right? So you can see we got the sum over here. So this we did manually, but how to do it using the code, how to do it using the Python code from the XlsxWriter, that we will see basically. We want this to be in a bold format, so that we will do like this. We want this to be in a little like the size of this should be a little more. So all these things we would learn in the next tutorial. There we will see how to do the lookup. So basically you can see here we have this other sheet. We will do the lookup and put the we will do the lookup and try to connect the sheets basically, right? So that we will see in the next lecture. Let's meet in the next uh, video. Until then, bye.